Service Lines community. How y'all doing today? Brother Doug,
What's up, Zach? You tired?
I'm doing good.
These West Coast conferences will kick your butt, right? I'm telling you.
Time.
We're in
Personally,
America if it's on the West Coast, is it?
I mean, doesn't feel like it sometimes. I'll take it over to the East Coast, man, because then I'm gonna get it up an hour earlier and
Yeah,
I'm
that's
all
true.
thrown off. So,
That's true.
yeah, it is currently 5 o'clock in the morning, which doesn't seem bad until you realize that I've been up since about 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of maintenance in that beard before you go on camera. So I know that there's a lot of fluffing and no, we don't want to say that. But anyway,
Oh, goodness
what
gracious.
is the topic this week, my friend?
Oh, man almighty. We are talking mindset in branding. I'm super excited about this. This is kind of like right down our alley here. How does your mindset as the leader, how does your vision as a leader, like kind of translate into the brand, right? And so branding is not just gimmicky ads and, pretty wraps, although that does help some, right? Dan Antonelli, if he watches this, might be yelling at me. Those pretty wraps do make a difference, but you don't get to that pretty wrap if your mindset as a leader isn't heading the right direction and you're not bringing your team along with you. So really, we're going to be challenging you guys to level up your branding and everything that you do, because it is a direct reflection of you as the leader, what translates out and through your branding. So it should be a good episode. Should be some fun. It's right in our wheelhouse. So
You mean mindset? Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, let's. I'll start us in a prayer. Lord, it's great to be alive. Thank you, Lord, for all that you've given us, all that we have right now. Lord, help us take an inventory of what you have given us through your blessings. Help us, Lord, through your Spirit, not to look left and right, up and down, and compare what others have, but to have that heart of gratitude and thankfulness for all that you give us. And so, Lord, help us be great stewards of our wealth, our time, our gifts, and most importantly, our heart. So, Lord, help us stay humble, help us stay grateful, and Lord, help us be the greatest servants we can be to our customers. The fact that in the end, we collect a check or we make money, that's how the worldly part of this works, Lord. We need that fair wage, but more importantly, we're looking for an everlasting relationship between our customers, our employees, and our company. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So I think the first shift as we're shifting into more of this mindset branding, right? It starts with moving from that transactional relationship, as you wrapped up the end of the prayer, from that, hey, here's a check, here's a service. We shift from that type of relationship with our customers to an actual relationship with our customers, right? Our goal is to create these lifelong customers. That's been your goal at Action for a long time.
Yeah. It's kind of funny too, right? It was just a comment made by the owner when I was in my early 30s. I don't even think he planned it. He just said, I don't really care about the check you've collected today. I care about the fact that, that customer always calls us moving forward. It's not about the $150 today. It's about the lifelong relationship and the money that will bring in when we take care of the customers. And it's just kind of funny how we live life, and you hear something you've heard said before, you hear it, said differently this time, and a little light bulb flickers in your head. And it's one of those, you have these core memories of a life, like a mindset change. And that was one for me, that it is not about the short game. It's not about winning or getting that check that's about a foot and a half from my hand. It's about making sure that customer is impressed, that they've experienced world-class service. And if not, pursue them to try to figure it out. And sometimes they're not worth pursuing, but there's levels of effort, right? When a real obstinate person, a person that's trying to maybe take advantage of the situation, you give them that opportunity. Hey, what would you have liked to have seen me do differently if we could do this over again? Well, I just think, and if they're unreasonable, just then at that point, say, yeah, I understand. We have to agree to disagree, and I apologize, and we move on. We get the heck out of there. But so many times you can win those people back if you just give them that opportunity, show a curiosity of what do you think we could have done differently. That's pretty cool to be a customer.
Yes, you can understand.
With an invitation to help make a small business a better business. That's an incredible invitation.
So two ideas that are wrapped up in everything that you just said. I mean, that comment from Jay was really the North Star for Action Appliance. And,
sure.
Whatever, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, like that little comment has changed the trajectory of Action Appliance along the way. And it's swept up everyone that's come to Action Appliance as a team member. And so, and those that don't understand that concept, they don't understand that branding of who Action Appliance is. We're here to make these lifelong customers. They go away.
That's right.
They filtered out the door pretty quickly, because Jay's commitment to that has now become Doug's commitment to that, and everyone gets pulled along in that current. So I really love that. And Saul, you're a liar. He's I wasn't even
I think
born
Saul
30
is
years
older
ago.
than both of us, is what I think it is.
I'm certain he's older than me, and I'm fairly certain he's older than you.
It's not uncommon.
Not 100%.
We don't want to make any assumptions, but people from those islands, the Caribbean islands, they often aren't accurate about their ages. And I'm pretty sure Saul is at least 5 to 10 years older than me as well. So, yeah.
So then the other thing that you said as I was doing research for this episode, and I don't like the term, but I like, and you may have to, repeat what you said, but a lot of companies try and have this empathy. But I think the way that you explained it is better. It's not necessarily empathy. It's not trying to seek. It's not trying to like put yourself in their shoes and be like, oh, I feel the things you're feeling. It's that conscious curiosity of,
that's right.
Hey, what happened? How could we do better? You're acknowledging that things didn't go the way they expected.
Right.
And you're wanting to understand how to make it better going forward. And so I don't think that's empathy. I really don't. I think that is that conscious curiosity that we always talk about. Like, hey, how am I doing? How can I do better? It's just trying to elevate yourself, your company, your technician, that
it's the
customer
closest
experience.
I think it's the closest version. You know how we say from time to time, if we could just clone ourselves, right? If we just clone ourselves, then we can be, excuse me, we could be in multiple places at one time. We can't. You can't. But if you can find people that care about your business as much as you do, or almost as much as you do, that is as close as it gets to cloning. And then there's that authentic curiosity of, I wonder why this customer didn't react and isn't as impressed or isn't as happy as other customers. And to your point, yeah, I mean, when I ask employees to think from that perspective, those who say, it's not my problem, man. That's not what I don't worry about those things. I don't need to worry about those things. Then that means that they don't necessarily want it, right?
Hmm.
I'll pursue them a little bit more to try to explain them to the why it's important that they have that perspective. And that's why we commissioned you instead of giving you an hourly rate, because if you succeed at this, we want you to have the biggest piece of the pie, almost like a partnership, right? These are the conversations we have.
Yep.
That's for me to help them see if they truly want it. And if they don't, then what your point is all different reasons and all different types of exits happen, but people
Yep.
leave. And that's okay. It really is.
So the cool part about that though, right? And for those of you watching this, like, what the heck are these two talking about? That has nothing to do with branding. It has everything to do with branding.
Right.
It has everything to do with branding, because here's what happens. Your customers begin to know you as the company that cares, the company that when something goes wrong, you try and figure out how to make it better and make sure it doesn't ever happen again. And that becomes a part of your brand. You become a company that cares, right? And we hear that phrase thrown around all the time, but when you can authentically translate that to a customer, that becomes a huge part of who your brand is, and it starts with the leaders of the company. And so one of the terms, as I was researching this, is the halo effect. So it's where the CEO, the leader's personal brand, kind of begins to humanize the company and amplify its values. And really, within Action Appliance, that has been happening for a long time, right? That caring about the customers and asking those questions, that really, translating from Jay, that has really become who Action Appliance is. That part of Jay has just permeated through the entire company, and it's really solidified
Right.
the brand of Action Appliance, right? Um,
And as you get a little bit bigger, you have to have mechanisms in place to make sure that that is affirmed as a priority. So our weekly meetings, our weekly tech meetings, primarily half of that meeting, I'd have it all be, if they were engaged all the time, it's a time and place for them to speak to us about what they see, hear, feel, and experience with the customers or with themselves. Because the best way to improve your company process or experience is feedback from an employee going, this is a bit clunky, or this is just really, not working, or it's awkward. What can we do differently? And then I just reflect that back to the team, the tech team, and say, I don't know, who's doing something different? What's working? And from there, we can make that part of our company culture. And it came from those guys out on the road. So empowering them and giving them a time and a space to say, what do you think? What do you see? What do you feel? Is really been a helpful microphone for all employees to have a chance to make
and John Maxwell would call that transformational leadership. Right? You're empowering the team, you're elevating the team, you're inspiring this innovation, this understanding, whatever it is you're trying to do. You as the leader are embodying that, and then you're inviting the team to do the same and to follow along. And so you're beginning to transform the people that are coming up behind you. You're beginning to build leaders within the company, and so that type of transformational leadership really solidifies a brand. I mean, it's crazy what
It's still,
happens.
to me, it still falls under the experience section of your business, right? Like, I don't know, like a wrap, someone sees it, it looks good, it's clearly stating a message, and the customer calls. Well, that's branding for sure. Will they call back again because of that wrap? Probably not. Not maybe they completely forgot they called you and they see it again and they write down the number or scan the QR code. But there's your website. Your website draws them in, but if you're not great, if you're just okay, but you got a website promoting amazing service, that's almost as bad as having a bad experience. Like, wow, I've been duped by marketing, right? So it comes down to this experience side. That's where it all has to deliver for sure, on that side, that causes that branding to stick, because they really experienced it, right? Us going to Disney or Buc-ee's. I was just talking with my niece's boyfriend, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been to a Buc-ee's." I'm like, "What?" And I was trying to explain it. I said it's an experience. It's not a gas station. So you have a gas station, you have an experience, and then you have Disney World. It was somewhere in the middle. They were able to separate themselves because of it. I think that we have to make sure our customers are curious and excited about what we've offered. And we're just doing appliance repair.
Yeah.
But we are there.
Yeah, no,
every day better, right?
How many people think about the leave behinds and their website and their SEO and all this branding that they're doing to get the customer in, but then they forget about the branding that happens as the customer experiences your actual service, right?
Right.
I'm an Apple guy. I know you're not. I'm an Apple guy, but the experience that I have using the Apple products, being able to transfer stuff, I mean, instantly between my phone, my iPad, my laptop, right? And just having access to it at all times. I can pull up files from my Mac into here. And then when I had a problem with my phone, going into the Apple store and how they handled that experience of, hey, my phone broke while I was out on a bike ride, and now, I'm hundreds of miles from home, and like,
Yeah.
I need this phone. And so the way that the employee handled that and kind of sought to understand what I was going through and how that could affect me, right? That entire experience makes me more loyal to the brand. It's not because it's shiny, it's not because it's expensive, it's because the experience the whole way through owning that product. Everything that they've done with that branding has worked, right? And the same thing applies to our appliance businesses, right? We got these great reps, we got these great taglines, we got all this leave behind stuff. But if the customer doesn't have a great experience, if the experience of that service call does not match all the shiny stuff on the outside, it doesn't matter. And that all starts with a leader. If you're an absent leader or you're not pushing your team to be better, right? Then your customers aren't going to experience what you actually want them to experience. And then you're not going to have customers. You're going to be spending a crap load of money trying to continually get new customers instead of having these lifelong customers.
That's right.
So,
Speaking of customers, your employees are your eternal customers, and branding is so critical in the hiring stage, right? It's important that we we explain and share and reveal who we are, what we do, and why we do it. And it's critical for us to find people that resonate with the who, the what, and especially the why, because then it makes that lift of bringing them on board and getting them to buy in easier. So branding starts right there with your advertisement itself, through the whole interview process, and then having them come on board. It would be terrible for them to be underwhelmed with the onboarding process after a well pitched hire.
Yep.
So I'll tell you something. It puts a lot of pressure on us as people in charge. There's these different areas of the company that you're wearing a hat for, or you have someone working on your behalf in.
Mm.
And when you hand off a customer or an employee to one of your teammates, that buy-in is so important, and you hope it translates well.
So in the mindset thing, right, that starts with those mirror neurons.
Yeah.
Your team is going to realize if you're full of crap
Yeah.
pretty
Right.
quickly.
Yeah.
You can be saying all the right things. You can be acting like you're doing all the right things, but
Mhm.
if it hasn't started in your mind, those mirror neurons are going to be firing off. This guy's full of crap. I don't know that I should be. And conversely, like, hey, this Doug guy, he really lives and means what he says. Those mirror neurons
Right.
fire off. That oxytocin begins to build up.
There you go.
And
Didn't even
and
know I
that's
had
that.
that stuff. That's awesome. What'd you
That's
call
the
it? Oxygen?
trust
What'd you call
hormone.
it?
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin. Well, thanks for helping
Yeah.
me understand that. I've got a guy starting tomorrow. He was referred from one of our techs that have been with us just about 2 years and did no appliance repair until now. And obviously, he sees our employee, the benefit, the potential of a career, and the fact that even though it's not the easiest job, it's a job that's that has depth and worth to it. So tomorrow's a new day, and new guy comes on board, and we gotta hope. I gotta hope well that everything is firing as best as it can. So it's pretty tricky, right? Not to justify and explain and share your weaknesses and try to, you kind of have to come at this confidently, but with a humble approach that we are always a work in progress.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I love that. And I mean, the team that you've begun to build, they get a better dog today than they had yesterday.
That's right. That's right.
And that pushes the team to be better today than they were yesterday, and that just continues.
You want to know something, Zach? In preparing for this, I realized we've gotten away from this, and we've got a bit of a hole in our company about a point of view for our branding. A perspective, right? We walk in a big circle around our business, and we look at it from every angle.
Yep.
I realized that for us, getting the feedback of how our company is doing and what does the brand really look like after. So, you can easily fall into the trap that I'd have, which is trust in the reviews, right? That come in, the positives and the negatives. We have an internal survey, same thing. We can wait. I wait to hear feedback, positive and negative, from customers and employees about a situation, an occurrence, a service call. And for me, that's what I've been resting on, but that is far short of what we really need to be doing. We need to pursue our customers and really survey them, not just throw out a 5-question thing, but actually take that time to go and talk to them. Maybe at my level, right? Talk to them because, they know someone at the top is interested in what they experienced. And so I think as we go into the slow season, I've made that a rock that 2 or 3 of us are going to try to get a hold of customers and truly get an experience share from them.
I'm hitting that hard in one of my classes this week. It's that
Oh,
follow up. And really, how many of us just sit back and wait for the customer to reach out to us? I've said it before on here, and I know you're like, oh, hey, I should be doing that. And here we are again. Sometimes as leaders, we're a little thick-headed. I'm speaking about myself, and it takes us a couple times of hearing it to kind of get in line with it. But yeah, what happens if your CSR follow us up on the phone a couple hours after that service call or the next day. Make sure everything went well, make sure the customer experience was a great one. What happens if at the end of the week they get a personalized email? And it doesn't mean Doug has to type every one. Doug can automate this through his CRM. Um, but a personalized email, hey, this is Doug from Action Appliance, and we know you had a service call this past week, and we just want to make sure um, everything went well, and if not, what are the areas we can improve on? As the leader of the company, I'm always seeking to improve, and so it doesn't have to take up a ton of Doug's time. Doug just has to sit down and figure out, what does this automated follow-up email look like? When does it get sent? And when am I having my CSRs or someone call and follow up with the customer, right? Um, and then the customer begins to understand who Action Appliance is. They say they want lifelong customers. They say they really care. Okay, they really care.
Yeah.
They're calling me, they're emailing me to just make sure everything was great. Is a game changer, and it becomes part of your branding. You become the company that wants to be better, that wants to serve the customers well, that cares about the customers, and that becomes a core part of your brand.
I
So,
think I've got a seed of an idea, right? An email that goes out suggesting that if they're interested and available to take 10 minutes of their time to speak with the owner of Action Appliance, click here to schedule. Maybe offer a gift card or something if they do it. But I don't know. I might try it with or without. But wouldn't that be neat? For them to schedule into my Calendly,
mhm.
and I don't have, and that's like you said, all automated,
Yep,
and then just allocate 10 phone calls a week from
yep,
me, to call and just ask how things went and really dive into some particular issues if they've got them. So that'd
yep.
be fun. So I'll report back on how many people were willing and who read the email, who were
Mhm.
willing to click and schedule a 10-minute phone call. And if I had to bribe them with a gift card or not, we'll find out. So, but that would be great. Because again, the bigger you get, the more disconnected at times you
Mhm.
feel from process and experience. So
Yeah, and I mean that goes back to the core of this episode, that mindset, that thought process, that
mm,
everything that Doug and Jay embody has to translate
yeah,
through the team.
yeah,
Because if it's translating through the team, then the customer is experiencing that. And then the customer is really truly understanding what the brand is all about.
yeah,
That branding comes and starts in the mindset
mm,
of the leader. And then it filters all the way down to the customer
yeah,
experience. And I would argue that it goes even further into those referrals. If that mindset that Doug has put out about creating these lifelong customers filters all the way through to the customer, that customer is then going to trust you with their friends, their family, their mom, their dad,
mm,
whatever.
yeah,
And that becomes the self-sustaining referral engine.
yeah, absolutely.
That brand just continues to build itself.
And when you brand a high bar, it becomes a self-policing model as well. Everyone has to just try harder all the time. When
Yep.
you're branding that, you're aiming to be world class, and that when we make mistakes, we take ownership of it. That's some of our
Mhm.
core sort of focuses that our company is geared around. So that's just smacking the bee's nest, right? Like, hey, if
Mhm.
we failed, you need to let us know because we'll make those things right, and that just keeps the bar high. So
Yep. Absolutely love it.
yes,
Um, so if you've hung with us this long, I encourage you in this upcoming week to really take an assessment of is my leadership North Star? Is my mindset in the right place? Is that filtering through the team? And if not, where do I need to begin to improve this? Is this elevating my own lid within
Mm.
leadership? Is this um, I need to change that mindset from transactional to relational? Whatever it is, I encourage you in this coming week to take an honest assessment of that and begin to implement these changes. It takes time, right? I mean,
It does. You know, sometimes, Zach, I feel like I hear something and I get it. I get it. I'm like,
yeah,
I understand that's where I need to be. But there's this divide or this,
hmm,
there's no bridge for me to get over this thing that I don't understand. I think Tommy Mello's Elevate book is a
yeah,
great book to listen to because then you get to hear it in his raspy voice. But Tommy Mello's Elevate, and then Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable
yeah,
Laws really speaks to the core DNA of your business. And when you know your business well, then you want to share that and brand
yep.
that. So those two books are really good books to read or listen to.
I want you guys to understand that we've come full circle here.
Giving you the finger under the table, by the way. Yes,
Doug
thank you,
is
Zach.
Doug is now recommending books to y'all. It's
Yep.
not the other way around.
Listen,
Um,
I will still tell you, Zach, it's disappointing to read a book and find out what I've thought since I was 10 years old is being stated by someone else. I already knew it. So I'm still, still slightly frustrated, that people have patented and trademarked a saying that is
yeah,
really not super unique. But again, it's all about iron sharpens iron. And
yeah.
I can only
One,
hope that every once in a while, a word or an idea that I have just causes any positive direction in your business, in your life, especially you and I being a mindset people. If,
yeah,
if we can make a shift in your mindset, not because we're smart or we know things better than you, but just that we're the right person, the right moment to say something you've heard
yeah.
100 times before, but the light bulb flickered in your head or went off, then that's just called being great humans to one another, right? Except for some.
I'm okay if it comes from a book because I can't tell you how many times that
That's right.
I've just said and said and said stuff and then
Yeah.
recommended a book and it's like, oh, this is the greatest idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been telling you that for years. Like what
Right.
what are we doing here? And I'm the same way, right? I've heard these concepts, I've heard, and then I'll pick up a book and it's like, oh, duh, like here we go, rock and roll. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, dummy, I've been telling you
That's right.
so I'm just the stick-headed when it comes to that stuff. So
Tommy Mello
um
Elevate for sure
yeah,
helps you get the big picture of why you're doing what you're doing, working so hard as a business person.
yeah,
And I'm not sure that in my lifetime I'll get to the level of depth that Tommy Mello's focused on his business, but I can try to just achieve that to some level and keep on moving. So
yeah,
I think I'd have
it's
to work out if I wanted to emulate. I'd have to be like health conscious and stuff. It's just not my thing. So I'm gonna go in the Dr. Phil direction, where the head continues to get more bald and I'm a little overweight. I don't have the accent. It's gonna be a combination of different people, I guess. Little Jay
oh
Leno.
goodness gracious.
There you go. All right, we
Oh,
better get off before I continue the ramble to
so we just got done with a really good mastermind this past week. Mike and TK were firing that one off. It was a good time. It was nice to listen in from across the room. Um, Coming up October 18th, TK is going to be sharing enhancing the customer experience. He's man, his whole mindset as far as having that customer just experiencing so much better. It's pretty amazing. Um, yeah, yes, so we are out at PSA. PSA is kicking off today. So if you're out here in Vegas and you're watching, I'm sorry that you're awake. Uh,
yeah. Technically, you shouldn't be listening.
You should still be sleeping.
Right.
But yeah, come and find us. I'll be wandering around with a camera and taking some photos and videos and stuff like that. And then I will be teaching tomorrow. Mike and TK are both teaching today. But yeah, the mastermind, October 18th, slightly condensed versions of what we're teaching at the classes out here. So should be a good time. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing a lot of my friends out here at PSA. So
Yeah.
as always, Doug, it's fun. I enjoy
Yeah.
our conversation. I enjoy being able to challenge each other and
That's
encourage each other to grow. And hopefully all in the audience, we challenge you and encourage you to grow as well. So we will catch you next time on the morning grind. Have a good day, everyone.
Have a great week.
Thanks for tuning in to the Morning Grind podcast by Service Alliance Group. Subscribe to our channel and make sure you visit our website at servicealliancegroup.com for appliance repair business resources.